Hello everyone, nubkeks here. Welcome back to Nub Raids. We've got a bunch of stuff to cover today. We've got the full skill sets for Freyja, Fate Weaver. We also have the full skill set for Odin, Fae Father. And we have, which I haven't actually looked at all yet, we've got an Asgard Divide sneak peek video, which we'll check out. Excuse me, I'm choking. Nothing on Thor quite yet. So nothing on Thor, which is leading me to believe, which I would expect as well, that he would be the most powerful. We'll look at them in that order as well. We'll look at Freyja, then Odin, then the sneak peek video. Before we dive in, also do note, this is news for tomorrow. Let me cough as well. There we go, much better. I paused it for you. On Tuesday, August 20th, that's tomorrow, we're going to launch an extra legendary event for Ancient Shards. Okay, so there you go. Extra legendary for Ancients. I don't think we have any... Yeah, okay, so we do now have Prism Crystals. Prism Crystals are now in the Sand Devil turn attack. That's been added in. I don't think there's any summon event. Stay tuned. Maybe there'll be some sort of champ chase alongside this. Most likely, it's just sort of on its own. I know a lot of you guys like this event a lot. If you're very close to Mercy, it's actually fantastic, right? I would probably not pull a lot of shards for it, though, right now, which otherwise I might do. But right now, I probably wouldn't, just so you're well set for this Asgard Divide event. But I mean, well, let's check it out. Let's see. Is it actually good? Let's have a look. So first of all, let me move me over here. This is Freyja Fate Weaver. She is a force defense legendary from the Barbarian faction. And let's look at her stuff. We'll go backwards through their kits. Is actually kind of how I like to read them these days, because it sort of starts the most powerful stuff. Her aura, 30% ally defense at all battles, is good. Divine Foresight has a 5-turn cooldown. Now, the passive effect is always on. Increase this champion's defense by 5% each time an ally inflicts a critical hit, up to 50%. This could be pretty decent damage scaling. I mean, you do have Harima in there. Now, she scales up to 100%. And then you've got, like, Ninja. Toshiro's got crazy scaling on 2 stats, 100% bonus, you know? Ninja scales 100% attack. So it's sort of like half the scaling of a Harima or Ninja. Might make her do okay damage, but probably not too crazy. Her active effect then, that's the one with the 5-turn cooldown, prevents the death of the ally with the highest crit damage, except for this champion, and keeps them alive at 1 HP when hit with a fatal hit. If there are multiple champions on the team with this skill, this effect only activates once. Then heals that ally by 20% of their max HP, and activates an instant turn effect on them. That's kind of interesting. This reminds me a lot of Goffred. It's a good passive. Now, this seems more specific, though. So Goffred has whenever... if any ally is going to be killed by a fatal hit, blocks the damage and gives them block damage. Now, this works for anyone, so he's a good general protector. Freyja is kind of funky. So it seems like she will only protect your highest crit damage ally, so your nuker. But that's kind of... I mean, maybe that's okay. Sort of guarantee that your nuker will survive when they're killed, or supposed to be killed, and then it will give them an instant turn. I think the heal is kind of nothing, right? The highest crit damage, they're probably fairly squishy, right? Especially if they're an attack damage dealer. I think the heal is kind of meaningless, but honestly, just giving them a straight up extra turn could win you a fight. So that is definitely spicy. Is it better than Goffred? I don't know. The instant turn's kind of there. I mean, I'm also thinking about Phantom Shogun. He nukes whoever has the highest crit damage, so you could potentially give that person like an extra turn straight away, though I guess they probably get enfeebled by that first attack. I don't remember for Shogun. Interesting passive, though. That will definitely be useful. It doesn't seem too insane. Gold Weave for A3, 5-turn goes to a 3-turn cooldown, removes all debuffs from all allies and puts block debuffs on them for 2 turns, and fills the turn meter for allies by 20%. It's a good move. Yeah, good move. Yeah, solid support. Cleanse, block debuffs, and turn meter boost. Great, cool. Prismatic Aegis, 4 goes to a 3-turn cooldown. This does buck up with some extra shield strength as well. Puts increased defense on all allies for 2 turns, and also puts a shield on all allies for 2 turns. The shield is proportional to this champion's defense and each target champion's max HP. Now, I'd say that part is a little bit weaker. Each target champ's max HP. I guess she is a defense-based champion. I mean, usually the ideal with shields is to be based on this champion's max HP and have them be a HP-based champion, which means you can just crank their health really high and they'll give everyone a huge shield. This is going to be a weaker shield for any squishier characters or any defense characters. So we'll see exactly how does the scaling work between her defense and target champ's max HP. We don't know yet. Presumably, the increased defense buff will be boosting her defense before she does the shield, which will make it a little bit better as well. Seems okay. So it's a 3-turn cooldown, increased defense and shield. Okay, and then her A1 Height Spear attacks all enemies, has a 25 bucks to 40% chance of provoke for 1 turn. Counterattacks with this skill when a shield buff placed by this champion is removed by damage once per turn. That's, I don't know, is that once per her turn? Is it once per enemy turn? So, like, Freyja puts out a shield, then, I don't know, whatever, Goffred breaks a shield on one of my champions, she counterattacks. If then Georgid breaks a shield on somebody else, does she counterattack again, or is it once per Freyja's turn? That's a little bit unclear exactly what it means. It's only sort of okay. So AoE attack, 40% chance to provoke. All right, not amazing. Only happens when shields are broken by damage, so not if they expire, not if they're stolen or stripped. I mean, it's okay. Putting it all together, honestly, Freyja seems only okay. That's sort of my thought. I don't know, what do you guys think? She seems only all right. This does not seem like a top-tier champion by any means, shape, or form. I think she's a very solid support. Kind of reminds me a little bit of like the Alatreon Blade Master, third champ for Monster. In fact, it reminds me a lot of that champion. Very similar sort of vibes of being like a great support, but maybe not crazy. So cleanse with block debuffs. Okay, yeah. Then he has increased defense and a shield. Oh my god, he's actually even closer than I thought. Increased defense and a shield. And he had an A1. Yeah, and yeah, she really is Alatreon Blade Master 2.0. It's almost the same champion. That's kind of crazy, but probably with a better passive. So the passive would be mostly useful for Arena, but also in other places. Yeah, so Alatreon Blade Master 2.0. Are my vibes on that. It's Freyja. Okay. Next up, we've got Odin Father. He is a void support from the Barbarian faction. So his aura is insane. Increase void ally speed in arena battles by 40%. For what? That aura is crazy. The strongest arena aura in the game right now is Carnage, which is all ally speed by 33%. The next best is Lord Chazar, actually, with 32% for everyone. And then you got a few champs like Kaimar and Arbiter, etc., at like 30% speed. Odin is coming in, and to be fair, that's 40% speed in Arena, but only for Voids. But that's kind of nuts. It gives you maybe a little bit of a way to fight back against Mythicals, right? We've got no Mythical Voids. This maybe keeps Void champions like Yumiko and Warlord and Sifi maybe a bit more relevant. Maybe. So that's interesting for sure. Yeah, kind of crazy, but is it actually good? I don't know. Like maybe it's nuts. That's a fun aura. It's a fun aura. I like the aura. Odin's Wisdom is passive. Every 9 turns puts block damage on this champion for 1 turn, and also applies a buff spread effect, taking all buffs from this champion and placing them on all allies. What? This seems really underpowered. Block damage every... Does he... Maybe he gets it turn 1. Now, look, if he gets it on his first turn, okay, great. Wow. He goes in turn 1, block damage, spread, block damage for everyone just on a passive. That's insane if that's how it works. But if you're going into like an arena battle, which he's probably... He's got an arena aura. You put him into arena. If he has to take 9 turns before this does... And then it just gives him block damage for 1 turn. Like, that's terrible. This is a bizarre passive. This makes... I'm presuming the boss fight is probably going to be something similar to this, but this to me seems not great. Unless it's triggered straight away. I'm like, that seems weirdly undertuned. I don't get it. That's weird if that's how it is. Like, this could be every 4 turns give some block damage and be like, okay, that seems all right. Every 9... I don't know. That seems weird. Asgardian Judgment, 4 goes to a 3-turn cooldown, does get 20% damage from books. Attacks one enemy. Before attacking, steals all buffs from the target. Damage inflicted by the skill depends on the target's type. Attack. Inflicts damage based on the target's attack. Defense. Inflicts damage based on the target's defense. HP support or bosses. Inflicts damage based on the target's max HP. Ignores 100% of the target's defense. If a target was killed by this skill, revives a random dead ally with 50% HP and 50% turn meter. Now that is interesting. Now you will probably need to build him with lots of crit damage, but I get you don't need any, so whatever, yeah, just lots of crit damage and 100% crit rate as well. So now it's a bit weird. He needs 100% crit rate and as much crit damage as possible. Now against bosses, it's only a single hit, so he's sort of like Septimus. Ignores 100% defense. I mean, that's great, but against bosses, like, all of them are capped to 10% max HP damage anyway, so this doesn't seem very useful for bosses, honestly. Not that useful, right? Newt is literally 3 times better. Newt's literally 3 times more damage against bosses. So, yeah, that seems a bit But for Arena, this could be good. So steal all their buffs and then absolutely clobber them. Ignoring 100% defense in Arena. That could do good work and revive a dead ally. That's kind of cool. Yeah, I mean, maybe this thing absolutely hits like a truck. I mean, we have to assume this absolutely hits like a truck, but it's a little bit underwhelming, actually. There was actually some extra info they gave on Discord. They said that this, his skill, this A3, it can never weak hit. So it can't weak hit, which is nice. So if he's enfeebled, it will still do full damage. If they've got Poison Cloud, it won't weak hit. But that's pretty niche as well. But yeah, okay, it seems okay. Storm of Familiars is a 4 bucks to a 3-turn cooldown. Removes all buffs from all enemies. Has a 80 bucks to 100% chance of putting decreased defense on all enemies. And also has a 80 bucking to 100% chance of placing stun on all enemies for 1 turn. That's pretty decent, right? Buff strip, stun, decreased defense. Good move. Solid. And then his A1, Sting of Gungnir. Sting of Gungnir. There's probably some way to say that properly. I don't know. Attacks 1 enemy. Has a 50. That goes to 75% chance of placing a Berserk debuff for 2 turns. A new debuff that cannot be placed on bosses. Now, that's unfortunate. What does Berserk do? Well, again, they told us. Berserk increases inflicted and received damage by 50%. Increases, 50%. So, if I put this on an enemy Georgid, he's going to take 50% more damage, but he's squishy, doesn't really help. He will deal 50% more damage. Very, very bad. Now, if I put this on an enemy, I don't know, like a Duchess, okay, great. She'll do 50% more damage, who cares? It's a Duchess, but she'll take 50% more. That's big. I can't go on bosses, though, which sucks. So, that's definitely more niche. Where does this get used? I'm not sure. Again, it will help you kill people in Arena. But yeah, looking at Odin altogether, I'm honestly, again, a little bit underwhelmed, to be honest. His passive, like I said, unless it triggers straight away, his passive seems terrible. Like, you're never going that long in a fight for such a small effect. The aura is interesting, but I'm not sure how good it is. His A3 seems okay. A2 is decent. A1, I don't know. I'm not super sold in it. And you're going to need accuracy, right? He's not a mythical. He's not ignoring resistance. He needs accuracy for buff strip, decreased defense, stun. He needs accuracy for berserk. He needs accuracy to steal their buffs. So this move better absolutely clap. This move needs to clap. Maybe this doesn't steal. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't scale on crit damage, but this seems a problem that we want to be building Odin with 100% crit rate and lots of crit damage, but then he also needs lots of accuracy and he also needs lots of speed. I don't know. And then if we don't build any defensive stats, he's going to be squishy as hell. So I'm not sure. Initial impression reading the kit is kind of underwhelmed by both Odin and Freyja. What do we think? And Loki's kind of niche as well. Like, so far, they're kind of underwhelming. They're holding back Thor. Seems like Thor's going to be OP, I'm guessing, but bit underwhelmed so far. Bit whelmed. Yeah, quite whelmed. Well, let's check out. Maybe we'll see more here. This is the Asgard Divide sneak peek. Let's see what we make of this. I don't know. I really am underwhelmed. Like, after the crazy power creep that we've seen in the last few months, it's not to say I want power creep. Like, I'm actually kind of happy if power creep slows down a bit. It's been a bit too crazy. But I think the time to slow down power creep was probably not in the big event. Big hype event. It's not really the time for you to go like, these guys don't see. I don't know. Let's see. Maybe I'm wrong about the champions. I could easily be. I haven't tested them. Could easily be wrong. Let's play the damn.
Hey everyone, it's time for another sneak peek.
Hello.
And this one's going to be special for all you fans of mythology out there.
Oh,
Introducing one of Raid's biggest events, the Asgard.
Yo, go back a second. Okay, we're seeing some Thor right there. Mute him. Let's see what we see with Thor. Okay, so number 1, he's going in. He has increased attack, increased crit damage. Actually, this is all of them. It's the 4 Asgard. None of the other... Loki gives increased attack. Nobody else gives increased crit damage, I believe. So he looks like he's self-buffing increased crit damage. Fulminus. So he's going in AoE. hitting pretty hard, but it's hard to know exactly how much it's doing. It does say ignore defense. Ignore block damage. Well, that's interesting. He ignores block damage and unkillable. I see that. Ignores block damage, ignores unkillable. Cool. The ignore defense, he could be in Savage. He could have Helm Smasher. It's hard to know about that. Looks like he gave himself a shield, and he's getting an extra turn as well. Sky Rupture. Or maybe it's his passive. Like, he hit them, and then passive. Yeah. So it looks like he does damage, and then his passive makes him attack again for not that much damage. Like, he was hitting them for, like, 270, 100. Yeah, he hit them for, like, 116. His passive didn't do anywhere near as much. That's interesting to see some Thor, though.
Asgard Divide. Norse mythology has always been a major source of inspiration for our beloved barbarians.
From yeah, Turbold, Valkyrie.
Their appearance to their spiritual home in the kingdom of Frostheim. A land of bitter cold, brave warriors, and ancient secrets. So, to continue that Norse theme, the Asgard Divide event will introduce 4 unique legendary barbarian champions and a time-limited event dungeon with a brand new variable gear set. This event will be massive. And
I mean, the champions look great. By the way, if you have not played the new God of War games, I haven't played Ragnarok yet, but I got my PS5. I'm playing Cyberpunk at the moment, which is amazing. But I played God of War 2018. I think it's 2018. Then I'm taking a bit of a break to play Ragnarok, but my God, God of War 2018, one of the best games I ever played. That game is freaking amazing. Ragnarok, I believe, is even better, so if you like Norse mythology, play those games. They're insane.
It will be available from August 21st until November 22nd. Yeah, so plenty of time to explore.
You got 2 days for this.
For everything we've got planned. All sounds pretty exciting, right? Let's dive in for a closer look. First up, please give a warm Tolarian welcome to the stars of the Asgard Divide.
Cool too.
Meet Loki the Deceiver.
Loki. Oh, we got some base stats, boys.
Meet
cool animations. Loki, 105 speed. Okay. Solid.
Loki the Deceiver. Thor
coming in. So we know he's attack, so solid attack. Pretty standard attack damage dealer, really. You know, the attack isn't crazy high. It's just good. 63 crit damage, 105 speed. He just looks solid. Looks like he's got an attack aura, a passive. He's got hammers on his skills and lightning. Who would have guessed?
Hammer, Freyja Fateweaver.
Freyja, wow, she's fast. 110 speed, she's very fast. And she's got good defense and solid HP. Okay.
And Odin.
Odin, 105 speed. Okay, he's actually not crazy tanky. He's okay. Yeah, his base stats are actually not that insane.
Father. Rather than gods, our versions of these characters are Fae. In Teleria, Fae are ancient and powerful spirits that have existed for a very, very long time. We won't focus too much on the lore here, so dive into their champion boss.
Yeah, man, that Odin skill, you come into Hydra and it's like, okay, AoE decrease defense with the buff strip. I mean, it's all right, but without that stun.
And check out the dedicated event lore for more.
You already have
now,
decreased
for the really juicy information. How do you get these mighty champions? We'll start with Loki the Deceiver. You can get this elusive trickster for free during the Loki Chase event. You know the drill here. Simply log in on 7 different days between August 21st and November 22nd to add Loki to your collection. However, you need to have started the Loki Chase by October 24th.
Oh, there is a phase 2. Okay, so phase 1, you get the 2-star soul. You can go, oh wow, we can get up to a 5-star soul for Loki. That's actually really good. Okay. Once unlocked, phase 2 is only available for 21 days. So they really want you playing a lot, but that's pretty big. Okay. I think for a lot of players, I'm not convinced about Loki endgame. I think Stone Skin's a huge problem. But, you know, for newer players, Loki, you're going up against other newer players, right? You're going to fight lots of people who don't have Stone Skin. And Loki's going to be absolutely bonkers, right? AoE block active skills and stealing turn meter and buffs. Like, he's an amazing starter champion. He's going to wreck all the waves you face, just block active skills on them. Getting a 5-star soul on him is really nice. The extra accuracy is great. Mostly just the accuracy and then the effect as well. Like, you put him in temporal chains or something. If they've got buffs, it's quite good. So
to get Loki this way. Don't worry about reaching day 7 by that point. You'll still have until November 22nd to get there. Just make sure that you've started the Loki Chase before October 25th.
Oh yeah, the Altar of Souls unlocks at level 42. You won't be able to use the souls. Oh, I didn't know that. So you get the soul, but you can't put it on until you're level 42. Now, it doesn't take too long. That's still a bit shit. That is still a bit shit. They should probably unlock the Altar of Souls a bit earlier. Yeah,
we'll have a
probably
dedicated champion spotlight video for Loki where we'll dive into his skills in more detail. But for now, here's a couple of highlights to get you excited. The chase rewards will continue past day 7, so you can get...
Oh, that's shitty. Oh, no, you hate to see that. So he places block active skills and block buffs, and then he spreads 2 random debuffs. Look at this. So this enemy was already burned.
The chase
So he
rewards will
puts
continue...
block active skills, block buffs. He spread the burn and block buffs. He didn't spread block active skills. That's a problem with Loki. Also, same thing. He can spread perfect veil, but if you've got other buffs, it won't work. That's going to be a big problem. That's a really big problem. You absolutely want to spread the block active skills almost always against like waves like this in an arena. It's just so good.
Continue past day 7 so you can get Loki to level 5 of Awakening, as well as a bunch of other sweet rewards in Phase 2. It works exactly the same as the Adeline chase.
Yeah, like
His skills are all about deception and misdirection, placing Veil or Perfect Veil on himself and his allies while manipulating buffs and debuffs.
Yeah, so as you see, when he drops below half health, he gives himself a Perfect Veil on cooldown, which is nice.
And he can completely evade enemy skills.
That's cool.
You're not going to want to miss out. Loki the Deceiver will be a great addition to your collection for any game mode where you want to mess with enemy buffs, especially in Hydra and PvP battles. But where would Loki be without Thor? This mighty warrior is an all-out attacker, self-buffing himself with increased attack and
Thor is probably, by the way, it does seem like they're... I was thinking they make Odin the strongest, but Thor also makes sense. Oh, Thor might be the fusion. Thor might be the fusion, guys. Or else he's going to be really hard to get. Maybe they'll tell us right now, but I'm guessing he's going to be a fusion, which is why they're delaying it a bit. Or else he's the best one, and they're sort of keeping the hype going. Because Thor is the most well-known, I suppose.
Increase crit damage buffs before unleashing a myriad of AoE attacks on enemies foolish enough to stand against him. And his hammer, Mjolnir. He'll ignore block damage and unkillable buffs and destroy an enemy's resistance stat. He'll be available to summon from shards throughout the event, and he'll remain in the summon pool after the Asgard Divide ends. That applies to all 4 of these champions, by the way.
Sounds like no fusion then. Never mind. Okay. Not a fusion tied to this. All right, Thor, available from shards. That's it. So it seems like Thor is the best one, and they'll probably just run like a summon pool for him. They'll probably do like some 10x events, that sort of thing. But yeah, Thor seems like you got to whale out to get Thor. Or like you'll get him eventually, maybe, if you play the game long enough. But yeah.
They'll stick around and can be summoned well after the Asgard Divide event comes to an end. Okay. A wise and steady presence on any battlefield, Freyja Fate Weaver will be available to summon from shards as soon as the Asgard Divide event starts. No need to wait. Go grab this...
Wait. Do we have to wait for Thor? Freyja is available from shards straight away. What? Hang on. Wait.
Buffs and destroy an enemy's resistance throughout the event. Available to summon from shards throughout the event, and he'll remain in the summon pool after the Asgard Divide ends. That applies to all guys instead.
Okay, so Thor is available throughout the event. Why is Freyja specified as being from the start?
Steady presence on any battlefield. Freyja Fate Weaver will be available to summon from shards as soon as the Asgard Divide event starts. No need to wait. Go grab this defensive powerhouse and protect your team with some divine foresight. And no event themed around Norse mythology would be complete without the one-eyed wanderer himself, Odin Fatefather.
That's all Freyja gets. Just like, you can go for it straight away. I mean, protect your team, I suppose. Anyway, let's move on to Odin.
This titanic warrior can only be summoned via special summon events during the Asgard Divide. So keep one eye open. Get it? One eye? Oh.
Okay, so Odin is the hardest one to get. You can only get him during special events. I don't know, like, what do we think? I mean, I might try to get him. He's like, he could be a guaranteed void or like something like Fatalis Blade Master was, like Deck of Fate, Big Heroes Path. I could see that. Probably Summon Pool, all the rest. Is he good enough to care though? Is he good enough? I'm not certain.
He'll also be the boss of the new limited time event dungeon, and he'll join the regular summon pool once the event dungeon is closed. Event dungeon? I hear you cry. Ooh. Yes, this is a brand new time-limited dungeon we're introducing with the Asgard Divide.
By the way, I think this event dungeon is nuts as well. Like, I think Pinpoint... Oh, no! Oh, what is this shit? Are you kidding? You couldn't even put something... crit rate, accuracy, curing, days, crit damage, pinpoint. Oh, God. Listen, okay, pinpoint is in, hopefully, please tell me there's some pinpoint guaranteed. I think pinpoint is insanely strong. Pinpoint is crazy. And if this is a limited time set, maybe I'll say more about this, but if you can only get it from this dungeon during this event, like genuinely, this is where your energy goes, guys. Like, I think that pinpoint's insane, but God, this is absolute crap. Dear Lord, this is absolute crap. What is that?
It works like other dungeons. There's 30 stages with increasing difficulty and sweet rewards that can be earned on each stage.
Sweet rewards. Get yourself the days set you always wanted. 4-piece days, baby.
Initiating battles will only cost energy, so no special keys, no time or daily limitations, and you can super raid and multi-battle to your heart's content.
Right.
So grab your 5 best champions and go kick the butt of whoever's boss. By the way, this new expedition won't be limited to just the Asgard Divide. Oh no. We'll be reopening the event dungeon for future large-scale events and introducing new bosses who are champions associated with that event.
Cool.
We can't wait to show you what we've got cooking. All right.
I think that's a great idea. I think these limited time dungeons is super fun. Rather than having like more and more dungeons constantly added in the game, it's just like, you know, you open up the game 5 years from now and you're like, oh my God, on my phone, there's like 50 dungeons. What the crap? I think having limited time dungeons is actually really cool. And if they tie into an event like this and like it's very thematic, that's very cool. It sort of sets the sort of the theme for a month or two. I love that idea. That's great. Yeah, I'm curious what they'll do in the future. Like genuinely could be super cool. Let me see. Oh yeah, it looks like Odin is literally just the champion. So he's got his, he's got the AoE decreased defense stun. I mean, that's a nasty move for a boss. Buff strip, decreased defense stun is nasty. He's got berserk. Yeah.
Right. We've talked enough about the event dungeon itself. Let's get properly into its first resident, Odin Freyfather. He'll rock the same skills as he'll have as a champion, plus all the standard boss immunities, as well as the...
Oh, he's got the standard. I don't know if I call that standard, but maybe it is nowadays. He does have Awakened Weakness. Decrease the damage inflicted by the boss for awakening levels up to 25%. Now, that could be a big deal to survive and whatnot. I'm curious about that. You know what? You know who'd actually be pretty good against him? This boss buff strips. Frickin' Elatrion. This might be Elatrion out of the vault at last. Remove debuffs, block debuffs. If a boss is present, buffs protected. Just protect or block debuffs. That could actually be genuinely great. That's interesting. So he might be the way to go for this
boss immunities, as well as the temporal chains and lightning cage blessings. At lower stages, he'll only have level 1 of these blessings.
Oh, wait. Wow, he comes with blessings. Got temporal chains and lightning cage. All right, so temporal chains... That's interesting.
Lower stages, he'll only have level 1 of these blessings.
Okay.
But
well, I mean, level 1 temporal chains is like nothing, right? That's not a problem. Lightning cage is like a bit of max HP damage, not a big deal against you. Kind of protects some of his buffs. It doesn't seem like Odin self-buffs much, except that block damage. It's not a huge deal. Higher levels is pretty nasty, though. Temporal chains, like 3-star. So you're going to like 6% decreased speed. I mean, that gets kind of nasty. Like, it's a good chunk of decreased speed. It's a good chunk, and yeah, instantly decreasing your turn meter, that's nasty if it goes up to 6-star. Lightning cage, he's just constantly going to have lightning cage. He's going to do a decent chunk of damage, right? Protecting buffs is going to do a decent chunk of damage. Yeah, I mean, okay. They're giving them blessings is kind of cool, actually.
It'll rise to level 6 at the highest stages.
Yeah.
Fear the...
So I actually think 5-star is quite nasty, and 6-star.
Freyfather's power. Odin can and will constantly remove buffs from his...
Okay, I mean, that's going to be annoying. So to be fair, he's going in there with lightning cage, and he's got counterattack, increase accuracy, ally protection, block damage. Yeah, that's kind of nasty, to be fair.
Before landing precision strikes with his spear, Gungnir, dealing massive single target damage that'll ignore defenses. Oh, and watch out for
he did 31,000. It's not that bad.
The new Berserk debuff Odin can place. It'll increase the champion's damage dealt and damage received. Make sure you read the in-game boss guide before you take on the Freyfather. If you manage to conquer Odin's trial, then you'll receive a suitably awesome reward. As part of the event dungeon, you can earn gear for a number of different artifact sets, including a new event dungeon-specific variable set called Pinpoint. As the name suggests, it's all about accuracy and speed, with all 9 pieces granting the wearer an additional 60 accuracy and 32% speed.
That's really
With 4,
good.
6, and 9 pieces of gear equipped, the Pinpoint set also grants the wearer either 1, 2, or a massive 4 stacks of intercept. It's the perfect set for champions that want to hit hard, fast, and without having to worry about any pesky crowd control debuffs like sheep. We've no doubt that Pinpoint will get plenty of usage in Arena and against debuff-heavy bosses in the Doom Tower or Cursed City. Since it's a variable set, you can mix and match it with other artifacts for truly unique combinations. Let your imagination run wild. One last thing about the event dungeon. We'll be launching a dedicated tournament focused on raiding it so you can get even more rewards. The event dungeon will swing open its doors from the beginning of the Asgard Divide right through until October 24th, which also happens to be the cutoff date for starting.
Okay. So get stuff, event dungeon. Looks like there's not much. I mean, Immortal Soulstone, so it's nothing too special from this. It's just whatever. Get some extra stuff, I guess. Okay.
Until October 24th, which also happens to be the cutoff date for starting the Loki chase. Handy, right? And that's everything we've got for you in this sneak peek. The Asgard Divide schedule will be packed, and we hope you're as excited as we are to welcome these Norse-themed champions to Teleria. So sharpen your axes and raise your drinking horns in a toast
to the... that's it. I don't know, guys. Let me know what you think. Like, I feel like there's a bunch of big misses here. Like, I think the event dungeon, great idea, but like, this is trash. What is this crap? Get rid of this crap. Like, maybe if it was only Pinpoint, it would be hella OP, but at least put some good sets in there. Not this garbage. What the hell? Weird as well. Like, I think Odin seems to make a lot more sense. Like, he seems to make a lot of sense as a boss. I'm not sure about him as a champion. Like, yeah, the 9 turns block damage makes sense as a boss. Yeah, like reviving one of his allies. It makes sense as a boss. I don't know. The AoE decreased defense, buff strip stun, really good for bot. Berserk, great for boss. But is he good for you? That's weird. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm on the fence about these champions, to be brutally honest. I'm kind of on the fence. And yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Hopefully the event, we'll figure it out. When the event dungeon goes live, we'll figure out like how much you're going to have to farm. I do think that Pinpoint is so good that it is still very good to farm. We'll see how difficult the dungeon is. We'll put together some teams and whatnot. And yeah, we'll see. But yeah, let me know what you think. I've got some question marks. I've got some questions. I'll see y'all next time. Goodbye.